Call this meeting to order on Tuesday, January 14th at 7:02 p.m. of the Littleton Cultural Council. This meeting is being recorded. Just want to let you guys know in advance because the town clerk instructed me to announce that every single time. So I'm just being a good doobie. Awesome. Well, welcome. So, Karen, I think is this your first official Littleton Cultural Council meeting?
First official meeting, yes.
Yay, welcome, Karen.
Thanks.
Do you guys all want to go around and introduce ourselves really quickly? Cool. All right, well, I'm Melissa Luongo. I've lived in town for I feel like 11 years now. I have a daughter in the school system. She's a 7th grader. Her name's Abby. I live in Hartwell. And yeah, I just really am very passionate about arts and culture, and I went to Emerson College, so it's kind of goes hand in hand. So I'm just trying to do my part. Who's next?
I can pick up next.
All right, Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kim, we won't ask you to talk when you're actually chewing. That might be a I'm Sarah Rustin. I've only been in the area for 3 years now, I think. I have 2 little ones in the system, one in 1st grade at Shaker Lane and one in daycare. So I guess not in the school system yet, but we'll be starting kindergarten next year. I also feel really strongly about, arts and culture and quality of life. And a lot of my education has been in kind of the general arts and cultural space in several different roles and work experiences. So do my part too.
I can take it back. So Kim, I've been here since 1993. And I brought a husband with me, and then I divorced the husband, but I kept my 3 kids. And so we grew them up over on Foster Street, and they're 28, 25, and 23 now. So my babies are grown and they're really fun, and that was great. Back in the day, I went to Endicott College for an art degree. I was an interior designer with a minor in psych, which really works well for the interior designer work and with realtor that I am now. So I'm just like all of you. I think without arts, life isn't really that great. And so I would hate to see it not be funded.
I can go next. I'm Kiki Donahue. I've been in town, when do we move here? And since 2018, so that's 6 years, I guess. I live here with my husband. I have 2 kids in the school system. My daughter is at the middle school, and I have a son at Neshoba Tech High School in the culinary program. And he's a junior, so he's newly licensed as well. So watch out for a gray RAV4. Gray RAV4. I apologize in advance. I also went to college. I have a degree in music. I'm a professional singer. I'm married to a pianist who teaches piano lessons, and we're both music directors and sing in local churches. And then I direct a children's choir. I'm also, passionate about the arts, and without music, there's nothing in my soul. So, and I'm also just glad to do my part. And I'm also the secretary. So I'm the one that will send you the agenda emails, and I'm doing my best to type up the notes. So feel free to let me know if anything is missing. I am not easily offended. Just to say it right to my face. Good to go.
I can go next. I'm Juliana. I moved to Littleton from Houston in August last year, so just a few months ago. I'm originally from Mexico City, where I studied industrial biochemical engineering, but I did, at the same time, I did 4 years of vocal training and theater, and so music and theater have always been a great part of my life. I ended up, after many years of doing engineering, I ended up working for a music foundation in Houston before I moved here, and believe that arts, and particularly music, in my opinion, are just the best thing ever. So yeah, I have 2 kids, one in Shaker Lane in 2nd grade and one in 6th grade in the middle school, and a dog that you might hear if somebody approaches the house.
Hi, Karen. I'm Jen. I've been living in Littleton since June of 2020. I am on this committee because I wanted to serve the town in some way, shape, or form, and this seems like the best fit. So I also serve as the pastor at the Congregational Church in town. I have a grown son, so I don't have any children in the school system. But I guess that's me. I'm not sure what else to say. So nice to meet you.
That's fine. Nice to meet you too.
Also
And I guess-
very funny. Just get her out. Very funny.
Well, thank you. And I guess it's my turn. So I've actually been in Littleton since 1999. I live with my husband and daughter on Spectacle Pond Road. My daughter's name is also Abby.
Good name.
And she actually graduated from Littleton High School in 2020. So she was part of that tricky year, and graduated from the University of Rhode Island in this past May. So she's home again, which is very nice. You're all much more talented than I am. As far I have no real background. I enjoy theater. I enjoy music. My husband actually is the talented one, and well, he plays. He's been in a band, several bands. He plays guitar. My daughter has also been in the theater program, or she was in the theater program as part of Littleton High School. Actually, she started in middle school. So I love seeing her perform. We go to shows all the time in Boston and New York. And she is actually part of the alumni group that's been performing the last couple of years. So yeah. So anyway, but thank you so much. And I look forward to being part of this. Yeah, I wanted to contribute something too. So
Yay.
you.
Thank you. I know Ray joined us. I don't know, Ray, we were just introducing ourselves to Karen. If you just wanted to say your name and a fun fact. No.
Yeah, hi Karen. Ray Nash. I live not far from you. I'm on Sheridan Lane, right off Hartwell.
Of course, yeah.
We've been in Littleton. It'll be 10 years this summer. Lived in Connecticut before that. My oldest is at the high school, and my other two kids are at the middle school right now.
Actually, I do have two nephews that are in the school system. So I guess I'm still part of the school system. One is a freshman in high school, and the other is in middle school. So we're still.
Who's the freshman? That's my daughter's year.
Last name is Fife, Jackson Fife. He's in the.
I know who.
He's
Jackson
in theater
Fife
too.
is.
Very involved in the theater.
My
program.
daughter is Caroline Nash, who's been in many of the theater
Oh,
shows
yes.
with
Okay,
Jackson
yes.
Fife.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
they know each
recognize the
other
name.
pretty well. Yeah.
It's a very small town.
He's also helping out at the middle school production right now for Newsies, and Abby's in that right
And
now.
so is Caroline.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they know
yeah.
him.
I can't wait to see that on next Friday, right?
I know, yeah, we can't wait either.
Yeah.
I know Tracy
too.
does an amazing job with those kids.
Oh, she
There's like
does. I know.
60 kids or something in the show.
I'm trying to
have
get my daughter to, like, she's shy in front, and I just was like, I just do set just to be involved with it, because I think
Yeah.
I think she would get a lot out of it, but she's like very like timid and shy, so I'm hoping she'll see this and see how many other kids are involved, and it'll like inspire her. We're going to try and go. I'm not sure what night we're going, because they have all states auditions this weekend, and I'm one of the adjudicators. And so I have to keep both days open in case it snows. So hopefully there's no snow and I'll be able to go on Sunday.
Yeah, it was weird they didn't have like a nighttime show on Saturday this year.
Yeah,
I saw that too. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we went through that. I kind of skipped in the agenda. Sorry about that. It was just kind of, changing things up, keeping people on their toes. But I'll go back to the agenda item, and it did say that we need to approve the minutes from December. I don't know if everybody had a chance to read them over yet. I think most of us did and then responded in email, but just to officially call a vote, can we vote to approve the minutes from December?
Yes.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve
Seconded.
meetings.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, officially approved. And then just to piggyback on Karen's enrollment, we also have one more seat to fill. So Stephanie is officially off of the LCC. She's moved to Groton. We will miss her terribly. But that means we do have one more spot to fill. So if anybody has a friend that they can guilt into coming to our no.
I've tried.
Same. Like, come on, guys. I'll recruit at Newsies. We'll see. Yeah. So it's really just what I found is it's not, it's a once a month commitment. Our busy time is like in the fall when we're doing the grant cycle items, and the rest of the year I think it's manageable, probably because of all of the work that Kiki does behind the scenes. But yeah. So if you know anybody, let us know.
I will also,
mhm.
I'll repost that image. I'll just update it because it says 3 vacancies. I'll just update it to 1 and post it back out on social media. So if you guys see it on Facebook and you want to share it out, that'd be great. And I already asked Diane to put it on our website, but I noticed it wasn't there yesterday when I was looking. So I will ask again.
All right.
Are we going to do what we said about, like, it's a new year? Like, do you want to commit more to the town or something like that? Somebody had an idea.
Yeah, I was gonna make like something like that, like New Year's resolution to get more involved, like join the
I
cultural.
love it. Yes, I like guilt people into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'll send that around and I'll attach it to an email so you guys can have the image too, if you want to send it to anybody. Or
one person asked me about it and said, gosh, you guys have a lot of turnover. And I said, well, actually it happens that way on purpose so that more people get to be involved. Like, we can't stay more than a few years and then you got to skedaddle and then come back and do something else. But that was an interesting thing. So we may want to make that note when we're posting is, the term has expired or someone actually moved out of town. There are reasons. It's not personalities are too difficult or any of the things that might be in somebody's mind. The truth is we all love being on this group together. And so having one more would be great.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I'll put something in there about like, terms have expired or something like that, like to make it pointed for sure.
Like,
and feel free to let me know if we feel like we should change the language or whatever after I send it around. No problem.
No, I'm sure it'll look good. That's a good point, Kim. I like that. Okay. All right. Moving backward again. Ray, we have number 3 item as a treasurer update. Do you want to give that or do you want me to do something else first?
I do not really have a treasurer update this month. I need to do an update to where we stand with our financial transactions and what grants have been given out.
Okay.
And I frankly need to catch up on if there's any final grant requests there. I think there was only one left for fiscal year 24. It won't be possible really for there to have been any for fiscal year 25. I don't think, but maybe I'll be surprised when I open up the email inbox.
Okay.
So I don't have anything for this month. I'll try to have a better update for next month.
No worries. So we can just bump it to the February meeting agenda. I'm going to skip around again because the number 5 item is the public art project, but I think I want to just close out the grant cycle action items first. So Sarah had went in and confirmed the drop downs based on the spreadsheet that we all went over at the last meeting. Did you have any trouble with that, Sarah? It sounded like it went totally fine.
We were actually pretty much on the same page with most of it. It was just that, like, I had added that extra level of detail where requested, and that wasn't, but we looked at that and I think it was fine. I don't think that there's any concerns there.
Great. Okay. So final submissions are due on the 16th, but it sounds like we are finally submitted.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
I apologize here. I made a mistake on this one. I thought that final submissions were actually due on the 16th. Well, it turns out they were due on the 1st so that you could have the 15-day waiting period before the final submission on the 16th, which I didn't catch. I should have caught it, but I didn't catch it. I went into the cultural council just to like make sure that we're good. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I submitted on the 5th, so it'll be the 20th instead of the 16th. It's not a huge time difference. All of our approvals and denials are all in. So everything's ready to go. The denial letters have already gone out. And like I said, we're in that 15-day waiting period. So again, my apologies. I thought the 16th was the deadline and not the 1st. I just like completely misunderstood.
I didn't know either. I thought it was the 16th. So you're not the only one.
And like I said, So I do have a couple of questions about the final report, because in addition to submitting the grant, the denial and approval decisions, we also have to submit a final report that just has a little bit of information. And Ray, I think these questions are both going to you. The specifics at least. So when we discussed the grant decisions, one of the things we decided to do was knock the admin holdback down from, I think it was 350 down to 100, as you know, as you have in your spreadsheet, Ray.
Yep.
But that means I do have to change it within the system too. So I just wanted to check with you before I did that, because I have to change it in the financial report that our grant admin holdback will be 100. And I actually have to put it as 108 because it won't go through the system unless the amount available for granting exactly matches the amount that we're granting.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I guess the state doesn't want us keeping any cookie jar reserves on the side or something like that. That's fine. Yeah, that's the right place to get it to plug the number and get it to all foot. So that's fine.
So you'll get a confirmation on that because you're in there as the contact for that report. So
yep.
One, I wanted to just make sure everyone was on the same page with that still, that was acceptable. And two, I didn't want to like send it through and have you get this random email that caused panic.
Be like, what is this?
when we went through the grant deliberation, we specifically agreed, and I thought we documented it in our minutes for the meeting and decisions of the meeting, that we were bumping down the admin to only the 100, right?
Yes.
Now I'm second guessing my memory.
No, I also double checked your spreadsheet. Like I think same page
It's in there.
because it's a change on an official report. I just wanted to make sure everybody was on board before I made it. I didn't want to, overstep. Okay, and then the other,
I'm good with that. Yeah.
About the amount that we're holding back for our local projects, our public art projects, the Little Town in Bloom and the Labyrinth and whatever else we do. There is a question within the system about whether or not we're using a portion of this year's grant allocation for those projects. And if so, we need to describe them. But my understanding is that this year's grant allocation is only like $7,000. So I think we can just say no and do those projects with the other money that we have in our accounts, because we also have like our local allocations and we have some carryover and stuff, and it wasn't a huge amount. Ray, does that line up with what? Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Okay, then as soon as I hear back from the council or once our 15 days are up, I will add those two pieces in and get it submitted.
Good work.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Sarah.
you very much.
That's a lot.
It was
It's a big task.
it everything lined up perfectly. It went relatively smoothly except for those couple questions, and I think it's just because it's the first time I've done it. So
Great.
Thank you.
happy to.
So, go ahead, Sarah.
I can take care of the letters.
Oh, the grantee letters? Oh, awesome. Great. I was just going to ask that if somebody wanted to, do you want help at all? Like, let us know, because I know there's quite a few. So, but it sounds like the share drive has them in there from last year and you can just modify the dates. But if it's like too much, like, just let me know. I'm happy to help out.
Yeah, same. If you go into that email, the info email, and go into the sent folder, you can see them all in there and like the attachments, because it's just like we attached like a W-9 and then the letters, those things, just to see a sample.
Okay. I'll look. I have to admit I haven't looked through it yet because I knew we couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'll look through it and let you know if I have questions. I suspect it's one of those things where it's just easiest for one person to do it because you kind of just get a rhythm and you just get going and get it done.
Yeah.
Right. You just copy, paste, change the date. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I forget, since we're talking about the shared drive, can we send Karen a copy of that? Get her
Yeah.
added?
So
I was just going to ask, if there's any access or
send you-
documents I should see. Yeah. Okay.
So Karen, I'll send you the login for, it's just like a Google Drive.
Okay.
I don't think I have that either.
Oh, okay. I will
Maybe send it to everyone, and
I'll
that
send it to
it'll be in
everyone.
the,
Yeah. And then
in top of the inbox, right?
yes, top of the inbox. And then Karen, there's also a link for what Sarah's talking about, the MCC sort of portal, I guess you could call it, which is our sort of space on in the Mass Cultural Council. And so then it'll send you, once you get signed up with there, it'll just send you like monthly emails. And sometimes it's a lot of just good reminders, like, oh, if you're on a local council, here's what you should be thinking of, and just information too about other stuff. So you can just sort of self-register yourself and attach yourself to our council. And then that reminds me, I should probably go in there and take Stephanie off too.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be in there doing the grant stuff. Do you want me to just take her out?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
As long as I'm there. One less thing.
Yeah.
Love
I'm
it.
gonna say it. I'm sad. Hate to see her go.
I know.
And I just took her name off of the minutes template as I was typing it. I was like, okay, bye, whatever.
Maybe she'll join the Groton Cultural Council and we can do a co-art project.
That would be
Did.
cool.
She actually already did, and
She did.
that
Nice.
conversation has already come up. She
I love it.
is so enthusiastic about it that she's hoping that we can sort of do something. Who knows?
So
That would be
cute.
awesome.
Hey, Sarah, I was typity typing here because I was trying to get back into the treasury report because you were asking me to confirm numbers, and I was like nodding my head, but now I'm in. I actually finally got the spreadsheet open. It took me a couple minutes. Can you just quote me the numbers that you were saying again? It was 100, which we now are saying is going to be 108.
They're slightly different in the grant system.
Uh-huh.
By like
Uh-huh.
$4, I think. Give me a second, I have it up. So I had it up. It locked me out. Give me a second.
Because I have down that we approved 12,160 of grants, 100 of admin, and 1,400 of town projects.
So those weren't the issues. It was the admin amount that was the issue. So we had 350 still in the admin funds, which meant that we only had something along the lines of $12,085 to grant. Don't quote me on that. That's just an approximate, which I can find for you if that's helpful. But if we change the amount to the 100 that we talked about, which is what we did when we were talking, right? We changed. Yep. We could grant a little bit more, and then change it to 108, because then it matches exactly, or within their rounding. So I know in your in your remaining balance, you've got 12,064. So I don't know where the difference, that like $4 to $5 difference or $3 to $4 difference is coming in, but but the amount we're granting is exactly the same. I like checked and double checked and triple checked and didn't want to promise somebody wrong amount of.
Does it tally up to the $12,160 total grants?
Yes, it's the balance we have to reward that was a little bit different. So it's the amount that they thought we had in our accounts that was slightly different, which could be like, I don't know, there's been an interest payment since then, or like
yeah. Now that I'm like caught up, because I was nodding thinking everything was fine, but I was like, let me just double check. Would you be okay if I just took one quick look at the report before we file it and just check it against the records?
So I put in the numbers and saved it as a draft.
Okay. This is just on the MCC site.
And I'm share it now. Do you want to share screens? Is that easier, Ray, or would you rather do it offline?
I'm okay either way. I don't want to take everybody else's time though. It's because I could just do it.
Yeah, we don't have a lot left, really. Just Littletown and Bloom, and then drafting the February agenda. So,
do you want me to share?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Make sure I'm sharing the right screen.
I can see it.
Okay. So this is the form that Ray submitted with the account balances as of July, revenue, interest income, all of that kind of stuff, right? So none of this is something that was challenging, but what we ended up having as an issue was this final number, the amount available for granting, came up as, again, 12,085 or something along those lines. So the only thing I changed was changing the administrative funds from 350 to 108, which brings us to the 12,160 amount available for granting. Do you want me to pull the final grant report where this is like the actual place where this is needed?
Could you just scroll back up again on this form if you don't mind for a second? Okay, pause right there. And sorry, scroll back down just slightly.
Nice. And remember, this was submitted in October. So
Yeah, I submitted it, but now I don't recognize the numbers. I don't recognize the 6,668.85. That's not what I submitted. That's why I'm a little stuck now.
do you want me to change it back to 350 and see if it changes that number?
No, I think what we're putting in terms of planned actions in 2025 is correct. It's like the starting balance is off for some reason.
We don't have to submit this today. Like, do you want to take a few minutes to look at it and just make sure that you're comfortable with where we're at?
Yeah, and now the mass site is like making me reset my password. So I was trying to like get in and look at some other, because I think it would help for me to actually look at the fiscal year 24 report. How about this? Why don't I take a bit of time and try to go in and take a look at a few of these, or take a look at that report and the prior year's report and just make sure that it ties out for something, because right now it does not.
So
Sarah, while you're sharing, can you click on where it says LCC account form so we can see if that was what was?
Yeah, that was the first one I showed you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I just want to look at.
Yeah.
It says 2023.
68.
So that's the beginning balance in July.
Right. Of last year, yeah, or the year before last.
June 20. So that's the fiscal cycle is
Right.
aligned with the
July 1st.
So just so everyone is clear, what we have to do then is once we do put in all the grant decisions, we have to put in a report that talks about the voting meeting, the council programs, the decisions, and then the submit. And this is where we ran into the issue. The total of applications was 12,160, and then this, which we're not seeing because I changed the report to draft. It's no longer exactly in the system, but this was where it came out as like 12,085 or something along those lines. And as you can see, you have to have like the total amount granted has to equal the amount available in order to complete the section.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm very glad you're bringing it up. And now I just need to go in and see what's not working.
Well, if you go in and it's easy and it makes sense, just send me an email or send us an email. If it's something that you want to like walk through with me, I'm around tomorrow. I'm happy to get on a call and dig through the details if that's useful.
Yeah. And I did finally get it open, so I'm looking at some of the financial reports too. So maybe we continue with the agenda and I'll zone out for a minute and see if I can do some quick reconciliation here on the fly while you guys move on with other agenda topics.
Okay, sounds perfect. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And Karen, I'm sure that all looks like a little bit foreign to you, so don't feel bad. I came in like my first year, like right before the cycle, the grant cycle started, and I was totally lost. But basically all that was the last few meetings, we were we received grant applications from like local artists and submitters. And we are in charge of allocating the funds that we're getting. We basically had a few meetings to kind of to vote on the projects. We reviewed all the projects and allocated the funds in the appropriate amount that we thought would make sense. We made sure that they aligned with our goals that we set each year. Sometimes we focus more on public art, sometimes we focus more on other particular topics. And then we make sure that the project's aligning with our goals. And then there's an official approval situation in the Mass Cultural Council website, and that's what you were looking at. So when you go to the Cultural Council website, you'll sign in and you'll probably see all of that information in there. So that clarifies a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll get there.
Of course, you won't have to do it until next. When do we start? Is it October?
And you won't
Next year?
really have to navigate that, right?
Right, exactly. You'll just be in the meetings and
To
stuff
get
like
a PDF of all the grant applications. We send that out along with Ray's amazing spreadsheet that helps us like track all the different pieces. And you just read through it and give your opinion and your thoughts. And then me, at the moment, I go in and put in the numbers.
Right. You have the hard stuff. Yeah. All right.
I have a question. How many more years do you all have in the committee left?
It's a 3-year cycle?
It's a 3-year cycle. If you go on the on our webpage off the town, it shows all of our ending dates. I don't know if I
okay.
know mine off the top of my head, but they all
But
are
you still
listed.
have a few. I mean, it's not like you guys are ending soon, no?
Well, so you also have the option to run for 2 terms, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right terms.
Yeah, so you can do 2 3-year terms and then you have to take a year off at least.
Okay.
I think in June, I just started my second term.
Here, I actually just pulled it up. So who?
Oh, you started your second. Okay.
So Ray is due to go off in 2025. He's the only one.
I am? Oh,
Do you have
Yeah.
one more
After a
term?
second term or his
thought I was
first?
through 2026.
I don't know. It says on here 6/30/2025. You know what's funny though?
Oh.
There's a part of me that feels like some of this isn't all that accurate because even at one point when I was up for my 3-year, it had me on another year and now mine says 2027. And I was like, but I just had my second term in 2024. So I don't know.
And Ray,
The
this
math
was
is not
your
math.
second term or your first term?
I'm sorry. Was someone
No,
addressing me?
sorry, you're trying to do something. Don't worry. I'm just trying to figure out how
We
long.
were
it's
just
been.
wondering if this was your first term or your second
I
term.
took over someone's partial term when they resigned from the
Okay.
council. And so my first term ended fast as a result of that. I re-upped for a second term, which I thought went through 2026, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody else is 2026. Well, Stephanie was 2025, but she's still listed on here. But everybody else is 26 or 27.
And I'm
That makes sense.
on
to
my
me.
first term still, so I'm 2026, but we'll
Mhm.
likely
Same.
4 years. Like
Same.
now that I'm kind of getting the hang of it, sort of a little bit.
Right. As soon as the 3 years is up is when you feel like I'm good to go. Yeah.
I love that.
Exactly. It's like, I've got it. I understand the whole theory.
Right.
True.
But yeah, if anybody is, all of our agendas and minutes and all of our, end dates are all on that website. Like that's off the town website. If you just Google Littleton Cultural Council, it's the first one that comes up.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so moving on. I know Ray's looking at a spreadsheet, so you don't have to answer anything, Ray, but we have a little segment about Littletown in Bloom. If you can believe it, it is already time to start talking about it. So Karen, last year was our first year that we did a Littleton Cultural Council sponsored public art project called Littletown in Bloom. It was really spearheaded by the former chair, Julie, really is kind of her brainchild, but and other people too, but I always consider her the one who kind of like sparked it. And so basically what we did is we reached out to a bunch of local community partners, and we had them each basically decorate a large wooden flower, and then we planted our flowers on the common as kind of like a I don't know, spring is coming, a renewal of spring, and like we just sort of a fun art project to get the community involved. And it went really well, except for the DPW taking all of our flowers off and because I had to mow the lawn. How could they want to do their job? No, I'm kidding.
Rude.
But it went really well. And so we talked about maybe brainstorming some ideas to make it even bigger this year. Who else we would reach out to if we wanted to. I think one of my ideas was to maybe launch like a community picnic involved in it if the weather was good. That might be a lot to take on, but it still might be a fun idea to kind of launch it or partner with like the garden club on it. So we probably need to start ramping up our materials and reaching out in February if we want to plant a little earlier than we did last year, so that we don't run into the lawn mowing situation.
They did say if we kept them, and I think we'd have to probably go before the select board again just to get approval on the dates and be really clear, I guess, about beginning and end. But they did say if we kept them in the mulch beds, that we'd be able to keep them up longer. So that's just something to remember, because they just, they're obviously not mowing in the mulch. So we could probably just think about that a little bit in placement.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
It's a bit of a bummer to do that too, though, because they're not going to be as
prominent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they all have to be in there, but maybe we would cluster some and then, be strategic.
Think of that too. And the truth is we mulch our flower beds. So once I could get past that, I was like, okay, we can make this work.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, totally.
Yes.
But again,
And my son finally got them out of Kiki's backyard. So they're in my garage, safe and sound before the snow hit. So yeah.
Nice.
we had
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right. That's right.
a ton of interest last year too, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with
More.
significantly more. Yeah.
So
If we can.
we have the receipts. Should we order more of the same this year and get the components so that we can reach out to people ahead of time and say, here's how many we have. You can take 1/10 of it, or, if we're going to send out to 10 groups or whatever. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of flowers. And so if we triple that, I don't know where we'll keep them.
There.
Yeah.
I still have
The
more
idea of
green
that is really
poles
great, but
that
I'm thinking, oh my.
Yeah,
I
and
still have more
maybe
green poles that we didn't even use last year, just so everybody knows. Probably
great.
20,
okay.
maybe 30 that we never even used last year, just so everybody knows.
And we could also explore the idea of if there was a group that got a lot, if they wanted to store them or put them up in their space, if we had the schools involved, maybe they could plant some there. I don't know if we have to continue like that, we would maybe store them. Maybe we can come up with a different plan with that. I think just because it was our first year, it was kind of like, let's keep these so we can start off
Well, and then
again.
it makes a bigger bang for the buck. If we know that we'll take that whole thing and deliver it on one day is a lot nicer. And then if a team comes and adds 10 more, how nice. But we have to tell them also, here's the area you can use.
Right.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to spread it out a little bit? See if there are other organizations in town or places that might want like a little flower garden? Like in front of the fire department or the police department, the churches.
Yeah, I always loved
maybe
that
some
idea.
retailers, I don't know.
I love that idea of there being like a cluster on Main Street, but then almost like a little hunt, like you're going around the town.
Oh, that's a
trying to
really
find
cool
each
idea.
flower. Oh, find the one at Springdale. Find the one at, Theo's
The
now.
gazebo would be a really nice place,
Yeah.
right? Flanking the steps to the gazebo and the fire station, the police station. Those would be nice.
Yeah, it would just be more of a request to the select board, of course. So we'd have to include that piece in it when we go before them and ask for permission. Of course, the businesses we won't have to, but places like spaces like Fay Park, yeah, for sure. What do people feel about that?
I love the idea.
I think we could also say, here are where we get our parts. If you want to join us and put it in front of your own business, here's our parts, right? So that we're not trying to get the parts to everybody or the paints. We can suggest all the things and then they can do it and add to it. And my guess is we'll never have control of it again, which is the whole point.
That's not a bad thing.
Mhm.
Right.
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 Like then the creativity comes, right? Like last year we got the creativity with each flower, but now it will forever be bigger and different and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. And I think, if we sort of spearhead the common area, or maybe the common and like the sort of town areas, quote
Right.
unquote, and then really encouraging others. And we could put together some kind of a, Google sheet or something we could send out to them. Here's the links. I think I'd have to go back and look at the notes, but I think Stephanie kind of cut a deal with that company because it was like a family run company, and she told them like what we were doing with it, and they were like kind of into it. And so we might be able to sort of give them that information too and say we may have other groups contacting you and giving out your information, kind of thing.
I love that. And I think having it all be one resource, at least it starts out looking the same and everybody understands that it's the same project. And after that, it explodes into its own creation.
Yeah, my only thing I would say is this first year where we're reaching out to some more businesses, we might want to have some extras on hand and strategically reach out to some really prominent businesses with our own flower first, and then like build upon that, like some other hey, if your business wants to do this too, like you were saying, have the just so that we have some on hand, because some businesses are very busy, and frankly, if I was a business owner, like I'd be more likely to be like, oh, do you have all the stuff? Great, then let's do it. Then if maybe I'd forget to order it or something, maybe for just like 5 bigger businesses, and then we could have that sheet that said, hey, are you interested in joining this project? Like you were saying, do you guys think that is a good idea, or do you think that's a waste of resources?
I think it's fine. And I think we have to recognize that some people won't finish it. And
Sure.
maybe say, if you find yourself in 2 weeks not being able to do this, might you return it to us or call us, right? So,
Right.
and we'll still get some that are languishing. It just happens, but.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have a list of like people we reached out to last year? Because I know it was like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, there's a spreadsheet
drive?
on the Google Drive. Yeah.
Great.
I can attach that maybe to the minutes, put the link in there. So
Okay,
that
great.
shows, because I think last year we sort of had a person from the board was like a point person for certain ones, which I think worked well. So it's sort of like, you're contacting this person, and then the delivery and the pickup or whatever
Yes.
was more streamlined, and so I think that was a good model personally.
Right.
It might be worth brainstorming who else we could contact too. Like, I feel like we have a lot, like everybody has different contacts in the area. I'm not sure I actually have any more. That might be on mine, but but like we weren't thinking businesses last year. We weren't thinking off the common last year. So we weren't ready to go to schools or after school programs or whatever. So maybe next week we could talk about like kind of who has contacts at the different places, and maybe if they have some idea of how many people are likely to want to participate. I know that's a little fluffy at this point, but it might just give us an idea of the scope that we're looking at. Because like,
think of Madhavi, who does the beautiful silks and scarves and napkins, etc. on the common.
Yes.
She's in 20 Meeting House.
Yep.
So imagine having her out there with, Indian patterns would be so beautiful and show new ways of seeing it and being there. So
Yeah.
it could be cool.
And even like the Historical Society and the Garden Club and the Rotary Club, who knows who will want to, but
maybe
for
the
the
Boy
next-
Scouts who do the flags and the
Yeah.
all that might do something at the cemetery.
Yeah.
You'd have
So
to
for
be at a certain
Yeah.
spot, but mhm.
For
Yeah.
the next meeting, maybe we can all come up with like maybe 2 or 3 ideas for that, and we'll make a big list.
Yeah, I'll link the spreadsheet to the minutes, and so everybody can maybe take a look at who we reached out to last year. And I know the people that I contacted with were all almost looking for more.
Right.
Like we kind of had limited it because we were trying to. So I think it's great to reach back out to them and say, hey, you want to do, 30 this year or whatever. And then to expand and then to break it out into other groups. So I'll put that in the minutes, like the link to it.
Did we have a time frame in mind for this?
Yeah.
Last year we went a little later, I think, than we had hoped in the beginning. But since we're starting out in January, maybe we can target, excuse me, a little bit of an earlier date.
I'd love to do April before everything starts growing really fast, and
Yes.
it's kind of there would be less happening on the common, and so we would be more likely to be seen.
Yes, because we run into Memorial Day, right?
Yeah, and we
Labor
ran
Day.
into the then they have the
Plant sale
signs.
and
The
right,
signs were up for the seniors, and we had to wait for that to come down, I think, or
Right.
whatever it was.
right.
Yes.
There's a
For
lot happening.
graduation. Yeah.
Realistically, we're looking at needing to reach out to people right after our next meeting.
Yes.
By the end of February, so that we can get them ordered and get them to them by mid-March to have them ready by April, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
And maybe we target it so that by the end of April vacation, they're installed.
I think that's good.
When is
That's
April
good.
vacation?
It's
Third
Easter
weekend.
starts at the 20th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it's like Easter Sunday and that week afterwards.
So if we aim for getting everything back by the beginning of April, that gives us a little bit of
Right.
Time. Yep. All right,
And
I
then
like that.
the only other conflict we ran into last year is nobody wanted to be fighting for real estate on the common with the senior posters that go up. Maybe was already mentioned while I was
What is
looking at my
that senior
financial stuff.
posters? What
Yeah,
is that?
so they put up like little, square lawn signs with every child who's graduating from Littleton High School with like their
Ah, oh.
picture. So it's like
Seniors of
classes.
high school. Sorry,
Yeah, not
I was
senior
thinking of
citizens.
Seniors like older
Me too.
people.
Class
Yeah.
of 2025 people.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Careful, I'm
Thank you.
getting very close to that, Juliana. I thought we were going to be friends, and now you're calling me old senior.
No, I mean, I remember I'm Mexican. This is language barrier.
Right, right.
I'm a foreigner.
But, like,
When
I
did
think-
they when
I
did they
think
go
that
up?
was-
usually?
That was why we went so late last
Yeah.
year. is
Right,
because
yeah.
we were very concerned about this conflict. And I think they go up on the common sometime in May. I don't know exactly
Yeah,
when.
I think it's like the week or two running up to graduation, which I think is usually like mid-May.
Yeah, because I think they have to remove them by Memorial Day, right? For the
Yeah, you're
Memorial
right. And that
Day
was that was the
celebration.
other issue was the flags that for Memorial Day
Right.
so we
Right.
had to, that's why we
Yep.
went late.
So
So
we
I think,
might want to do like even earlier than we're saying, like get everything up by the second week of April so they can stay for at least a month.
I think we should aim for the first. We don't,
First week of April? Yeah.
we don't make it till the second week, but Kim, you were the contact with the select board last year. Can you reach out to them and
Absolutely.
anything else? Just that we need to be thinking about in terms of scheduling?
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah, and I think it just to make it clear to, because I think one of the issues we had is that probably I assumed that the select board would let the DPW know that we had been approved and was doing that. And I feel like that's what didn't happen. So maybe just either asking that question, like, are you reaching out to the DPW? Should we reach out to the DPW?
What I realize is being on the Affordable Housing Trust is basically nobody talks to anybody else unless you are a subcommittee of something else. And so your point is well heard and made. Noted.
You think everybody's talking to each other behind the
Right.
scenes, and really nobody is.
Everybody
That's
does their
false.
meeting and then goes home. Right.
Sounds like
False.
my actual job.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
cross-pollination.
Right, this
Mine
is being
too.
recorded. No. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Getting HR. Love it there.
Yeah, but we should, that's probably, just something to really be pointed about this time so that we know. Because I feel
I
like that
love
was
it.
a surprise to all of us,
I'll take care of that. I'm circling my name.
Well, and like you said, Kim, like if we're looking at April, it's less of an issue. We're not mowing as often. It's not as big of a.
Right.
And it's
And-
probably going to be easier to get onboarded this year because we've done it before and we know what it takes. We know how long it takes.
Right.
And we have all the contacts for at least the
Right. Everything's
people
already
have from
figured
last
out.
year.
We just need
Right.
to now multiply it. Right.
Execute. Yep. Okay. So let's Kiki, you said you would send the link to the spreadsheet of all the people we reached out to last year in the minutes, which would be awesome. Let's all think of a couple more contacts that would make sense, whether it be a business or a town group like ours. And then we can kind of regroup for the February meeting and make a plan for like our actual date of installation, who we're going to reach out to and when. And then, Kim, you don't mind in the off couple weeks just reaching out to the select board and, okay, perfect. Anything else we
Yeah,
should
and-
do at this meeting for it, or?
If you need somebody to go with you or whatever, let me know. I'm happy to present or
I ain't
whatever.
afraid of none of them.
Or even if it's like the timing doesn't work, if they say
yeah.
you can only come to this meeting and you can't do it, you can
Oh,
just-
I have a feeling all I need to do is call.
yeah.
I don't think this is a big thing. That's what I did last year. I called Mark Rambacher and said, hey, this is what we're doing. He's like, cool.
I love that.
Well, apparently he didn't tell anybody else, but that's
But he
cool.
didn't go forward, so now I know the next question to ask.
Too funny.
Excuse me.
And we should think about locations too, right? Not
Yeah.
just
Yeah, people and locations.
Right,
Yes, good
groups,
call, Sarah.
location, and those
Groups,
two
location.
might overlap really nicely, right? So.
Yes,
Right.
somewhat.
Mhm.
for sure.
Great. I love this.
All right.
It was really nice to see them last year and people, and remember, so this could happen again, is that last year the center was under construction. So there were all those big trucks,
Yeah.
all that big equipment
Right.
flanking on all sides. So that may not be there this spring. So maybe I'll check in with DPW and just see. So tell me.
What's going on?
Yeah. Right.
Because we can just move to the other side.
Right. Right.
Don't block our garden.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I know that was a mess, and it was a really
It
long,
really was.
lengthy
And it
mess.
continues to be, right.
Yeah.
Melissa, the sign that we had last year, was that dated or was that just generic so we could reuse it?
I still have it in my garage. I can go check. I think it's generic.
I thought it was too. I was just trying to
I
remember
thought
if
it
we
was
could just.
generic.
I'm
I
I'm
pretty sure it's
actually
generic.
looking
You can
at it
reuse
on Facebook because
Nice.
I wanted to see what you all were talking
Oh,
about.
great.
And
I was like, I know I have a
remember-
picture on my phone, but could I find it in a timely manner?
Can I
You mean
just
just
tell you
the,
that whenever I take a
yeah.
buyer to a house, I go, okay, this garage isn't big enough and this is why. Bicycles and lawnmowers, and also you're gonna be volunteering in the town and you're gonna need soccer balls and you're gonna need flowers, and they're like, what now?
And signs.
Trust me,
A
you
big
need a bigger
giant-
garage.
You need a barn, in fact. Yeah. Literally, the person who helps out with the with like the theater signs,
Yes,
you just return them to their barn. They have a
Right.
Yeah.
giant barn next door
Yeah.
there.
I've gotten them out of the back of that barn a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
that's great.
Oh my gosh.
So Karen, does it look like it's dated?
It's
or-
just, yeah, it just says, I think if I'm looking at the right one, Littleton in Bloom, and then it just says a community art project sponsored by the Littleton Cultural Council.
Oh, perfect.
It doesn't
We can
have-
reuse
Wasn't that clever, Kiki? Well done.
Good work. I was like, I don't remember what happened.
Yep.
Good. We can use
Good
that
job.
bad boy again. But I was wondering if it'd be an idea to get two, if we're,
Yeah.
or how, whatever the locations are.
Right, or three of them, and
or
again,
three.
you can use my open house signs, but I have to think about that because I don't want to leave them there forever because I actually do open houses, but then they're, if I can get slide panels that are 12, mine are smaller, mine are 12 by 18, and that one was much bigger, like
Yeah.
maybe 18 by 24 or
Yeah,
Is
that
that-
one was like 30, but I don't
maybe
remember.
20 by 30.
I
Yeah.
can check. I think I ordered the sign from somebody that we use for
Yeah, it was that
the
guy in
drum
Air.
boosters. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
because
can
I
see
went
them.
there for the Littleton Christmas concert and ordered the stuff. So thank you for that info.
Oh,
He
cool.
was wonderful to work
Yeah,
with.
he's
great.
lovely.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and but I have like two more of those like A-frames we could probably use that we could
Oh.
Great.
borrow too. That are that I think almost the same size, but I can look at
Great.
them.
Amazing.
We can get into the weeds, I guess, on that as we get closer.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now we're
I
just
have room for two more in my garage.
oh, fabulous. Fabulous. So really the last item is just to draft our February agenda topics. It sounds like we're going to do a more in-depth treasurer update, membership updates, and then really focus on the Littletown and Bloom project for 2025. Probably just confirm with Sarah that all the grantee letters went out, which she said she's doing. Ray, you have a question, sir?
I figured out the financial stuff if we want to come back to that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sure. Great.
But we can finish February agenda if you prefer.
But that was it really. I don't think, was there anything else that, Kiki, that I missed on that?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm
fabulous.
typing it all up.
Thank you. All right, Ray, the floor is yours.
All right. So Sarah, I really appreciate you bringing it up because there were a few things that needed to get changed. I think I've got it in a good spot now, but it also made me realize that there was something that I and maybe we didn't realize in terms of how we were concluding things with our giving out our grants in December. So it's probably something that needs to get documented and voted on right now.
Do we need to go in executive session for it, or is it?
No,
Sorry,
I mean this whole group I think is okay.
But
And
it's
since we
also
don't
being
really, since we don't have any community members with us, I think it is.
But
it
de
is being
facto-
recorded though, just so we're all aware. So it's being recorded and could be accessed, just in case there's specific
Okay.
numbers we're putting out that we don't want to share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine with me. If anybody says that, oh, stop, go ahead and speak up. It doesn't bother me.
All right, perfect. Go ahead.
So I think we're all in agreement on the amount of grants that we approved and the amounts that we gave. That was 12,160. Now, if I take into the weeds of the bookkeeping that I have to manage with the town, if I go back to the beginning balance for the year, so the balance we started fiscal year 25 with, which is technically July 1st, 2024. It was $7,590.73. This was verified with the state, with the town, with me. And I'll show you guys the record that, which is what Sarah had up on the screen as well. So that's the starting balance. Everyone is all in agreement with that. One item that was not updated, and it's probably because I didn't go in and update it in a timely manner, is you have to put in whatever expenditures have happened since then, because you have prior year grants that are still eligible to get paid, and other expenses. This was a dated number. I did recognize it, but it didn't have all of the latest transactions. So now, based on the transaction report that I got from the town in terms of additional things that have been paid since July 1st, and this is the journal of report, I'm saying this for sake of all of you in the recording, the journal entry record from them tallies up, if you look here in the lower right, to $4,705.83 up through November 15th, 2024.
You're
And that-
not sharing your screen, so we can't see.
What? Oh my goodness.
There we go.
I hate Zoom. I'm so used to Teams now.
I
Can everyone
me
see now?
too. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
God,
I
I
can
was
see it now.
I was just showing you stuff for like 5 minutes. Crap.
It was a graphic description, so I felt like I was looking at it.
You felt you were there. Let me go back. $7,590.73. State says yes, town says yes, I say yes. And that's also what's in our share drive in the treasury report as the beginning balance for fiscal year 25. Everyone's with me? Okay, then the next thing I was saying is in the filing with the state, the next step was put in all of your expenditures since the start of the fiscal year, which is July 1st, 2024. I had not updated that. So now I just did. I pulled the transaction report that the town gives me, which you can see a copy of that right here. It's a lot of mumbo jumbo, but you can just focus on the amount column. And if you sum it all up, you can see here in the lower right, $4,705.83. Up through November 15th was the last transaction I have a record of. So then if you go back to the report, $4,705.83. So now I've updated that. The treasurer's report also keeps track of the fact that we had $1,920 of open grants from fiscal year 24. Now we've got 3 open grants that have not had a check cut yet, and that's what that equals. 2 have already filed the paperwork, and it probably has been paid by now, but I just haven't requested the latest month and a half worth of records from the town. I sent an email to them earlier today because I was like, oh, I haven't done that. So that's why that'll be my treasurer update for next month. So I'm imagining most of this has been paid, but nonetheless, as of the time of November 15th, which is when the report is being set, $1,920 is still open. $5,600 is what the town gave us. I'll skip past the remaining balance. Okay, then we get down to what Sarah was commenting on and asking for confirmation of, $1,400 for town projects for Little Town and Bloom. I'll come back to administrative funds. You'll notice it's a big fat $4 now. That's the thing we need to vote on in a moment. The state allocation is $7,000. All of it now mathematically ties to the amount of grants that we just gave out, $12,160. So the mistake that was made during our grant cycle in December was I thought I looked at it as a surplus, and in fact it was a deficit. We thought that when we were giving out only allocating funds for $100 for admin, I looked at the spreadsheet, which is my own spreadsheet, and I was like, oh, we have $95 left over. No, we are actually $95 in the red. The color sheet giving it away. Okay. I'm the one that set that color. So no, we're in a deficit position. So the easy way to correct that without changing grants is to either adjust the money that we're giving to the town art project or to adjust further the administrative budget. So just for sake of explaining this all to you on the screen, I bumped it down to $4 for the administrative budget. That gets everything to balance just fine. Deficit goes away.
I'm cool with that.
Everybody caught up with me now? So like that's not a proposal. I'm just showing everyone where the math goes. Then if you go back to the report, which Sarah was preparing, we're all square and we're ready to go.
Perfect.
But we have to figure out what to do about this $95 deficit. Do we want to reduce the admin funds? In fiscal year 2024, we spent $42 on admin funds, which is all for the Google domain for this website that I don't think we're any longer using.
Correct.
And in fact, I think we took an action to shut it down.
Yes.
Maybe we didn't.
We
which
did,
would
yeah.
then save us the cost.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then we could tighten our belt and just say we're just going to plan on zero administrative cost, or even if there is, just
Roll it into the public art thing.
or
Yeah.
figure out what to do with that. Maybe I don't know. We'll see what that would be a conscious choice to either not ask for reimbursement or to just not spend the money, or we could adjust public art to like $13.50, and then you got $54 in the admin. I'm open to it, but I think we do need to like agree right now as a consensus and vote on this, because that is a change from what we said before, but then it all fits and we're ready to go.
So there is still a small administrative fee, I think, that comes for this G Suite. It's like, I don't know if we can go back up to the spreadsheet, but there are some these little invoices. I don't even know what they are. It's like $1. Hold on, I think I have one here.
Yeah, because you had also submitted for a reimbursement at one point. I'm actually trying to find that here. Yeah, right here. It was for like oh no, that was public art again.
That was for the the way you call it.
Yeah, it was art supplies and stuff.
Yeah, for the third Thursdays. But there was a one time, it was like $12 or something. That's 2023.
Last time I see a record of any admin fees, it was only Katie Bonner for the website stuff. We haven't reimbursed for anything else in a long time.
This says Google Drive, though, not a domain.
Yeah, so the domain is not happening
yeah.
anymore, but the Google Drive invoice still comes and it gets paid.
Okay,
It's like
good.
$7 every once in a while, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
I guess I think there are some small payments. So I guess my thoughts would be to make the adjustment and put the $50 in there, because I do think there are some small little things that are connected to the G Suite that are like $6 here, $7 there. So to have nothing in it, I don't think is a great plan, but I'm happy with like $50. And I don't know if that would make such a giant impact on the public art byline.
Honestly, I think the 1,400 was a little arbitrary anyways, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
That was a little bit of a plug, which was based on the recommended 20% allocation of the MCC funds. So that could easily be adjusted. There's no rule that we have to keep it at that level.
I have to agree with Kiki. I'm a little uncomfortable with $5 or $4. Sorry. That feels.
There might be an unexpected cost. Yeah. No, I agree. I now that you explain it that way, I think that makes sense to take it out of the public art project. I think that will be under budget anyway.
Remember, we're going to use it for the labyrinth too, though. It's not just Little Town of Bloom. So, which not huge expense. Like that's not going to make or break us.
Break the bank, yeah.
So if we
We can
adjusted the
control
admin to $54 and the little town of Bloom to $13.50, then you're all square.
Hey, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Do we somebody want to make a motion on that?
Sure, I'll move to approve that.
A second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, approved.
Thank you for
Thank-
taking.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you for
Yeah,
bringing it
thank
up,
you, Sarah, for
I wouldn't-
noticing
I
it
would
too.
would not have caught it if you hadn't said something, so I'm grateful.
This is why we're a team, right?
Yeah.
Why we have to do it as a group.
Seriously, yes.
Yes.
So I just made a live update to the form, so now I'm not going to submit this form, but I think it will need to be submitted. But Sarah, I'm just gonna pass it back and say, but I think all the data has been updated properly.
Are you passing it back because you want me to double check things or?
Oh, this is the financial report, I guess, isn't it? So no, I probably could submit this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Great.
All right, great job, team.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, so everybody
Um,
has their. Oh, go ahead, Kiki.
Oh, I was going to say just one somewhat related to since I logged into the account, I see a couple of emails from people just asking about their reimbursement updates. Do we have access to that spreadsheet just to see or which ones the towns have cut checks for? Because I'm
Yes,
happy
but
to.
you won't have the latest journal entry reports since November 15th. That's what I just emailed
That's what
them
you
to
asked for?
request. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not the quickest at getting that detail back to me, but I'm hoping within the next 1 to 2 weeks.
I just was curious
I have
about
not
the.
been very fast with processing these this year. To be honest, it might make sense if we found a way then other than just me to process these, because I'm routinely very slow in responding to the email inbox and processing the grant forms. I don't think it's required that the treasurer be the one to get the 2 signatures and do that. I definitely need to record it and then submit to the accounting team at the town. But a lot of the other steps in the process, you guys could probably remember
we
to move
should
it along faster than I
definitely
do.
delegate. Definitely delegate. Do you just happen to know if that's?
I think I started to do that simply because Katie Bonner also was the one who did all of that. But as I've gone on and recognized that I'm the bottleneck, I'm like, wait a second, a couple of these steps really don't need to be me, and we'd probably be more responsive to our grantees if it weren't me. So
just from that spreadsheet for the one you were saying there was 3 of them, is the Francis Hart one there was a couple emails from Fran Hart and I just was going to reply.
So it's in the very same spreadsheet that I was just sharing you. I'll just go ahead and bring it right back up. The 3 that have not had a check cut for fiscal year 24.
Yeah.
So they're now, I think they're now in the red zone, I think, right?
Right.
Where they no longer, isn't it 18 months? So they no longer can request this money, I would think. I forget the rules. I apologize.
Yeah, I think it was
Kiki
sometime. I
knows the
think it was
rules.
like
Yeah.
February or something from last year, but I'd have to look at the exact
Maybe it
date.
is. There's only 2 are already like in process. Clear Path for Veterans submitted theirs. Neshoba Symphonic Band submitted theirs.
Okay.
That's working its way through. In fact, I think I need to update this. I think those were submitted to the town.
So the check was sent on 11/15 to this Francis Hart because he's saying on December 22nd he hasn't gotten the check yet. So that's why I was surprised.
That surprises me too.
Maybe
Once
reply
they
back to
finally cut the
confirm
check,
the
it's
address.
usually quick.
Right.
So
Can we email that person?
I am going to, yeah.
They confirm the address maybe, because sometimes that happens where we got the wrong address or they didn't moved or whatever.
the only one that did not claim their money is actually the town of Littleton.
The town, cool.
Yeah.
Did they ever do that project? Is that why they didn't do it, or because Brenta Bragg is no longer working there, right?
Well, there you go.
Oh, well, maybe
was that the library one?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I called about that one, and yeah,
it didn't go.
It didn't go.
Okay,
so then we'll have $820 back for this fall for the 2026 grant cycle.
There you
That's
go.
fine.
Perfect.
So be it.
Let's balance our budget.
Yeah.
Not the way we want to do it, but
Yeah. But yeah, that's the answer to your question. So we just need to, I need to follow up with the town and make sure Clear Path and Neshoba Valley Chorale, Neshoba Symphonic Band are genuinely in process to get paid. Yes, we should respond back to Francis Hart and say like, nah, the town says they cut the check.
Yeah, I'll do that right now
Thank
since I'm
you.
in here.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kiki.
thank you.
Did you guys
And then,
hear?
and then I won't be surprised at all that we'll get a flood of immediate reimbursement requests because remember, some of these 25 grantees already did their project. They were
Right.
just waiting in line to get the grant approved. So they'll probably flood us with a quick round of requests right away in January, February. So
Oh,
Yeah, perfect.
I was going to say earlier, finally.
Yeah.
We are in the 15-day review cycle. We have not gotten any requests for review yet, for whatever that's.
Right. Fair.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Did we want to reassign those tasks, Ray, that you were talking to somebody now, or do you want to wait till the next meeting and like
Yeah,
officially
How about
see if
this?
we
How
delegate?
about we make it an agenda item along with the treasurer report at the next monthly meeting?
Perfect.
Because that'll be good timing when a lot of the new 2025 paperwork is going to start coming in anyways, and we can just
Okay.
decide how to do it.
Perfect.
Did I hear earlier that this is Ray's last term potentially? 'Cause if-
2026.
26.
He has
we
another
should,
year.
we should check on that. Oh, is that so? It is 2026.
Well, it
so I'm not
says
remembering that wrong.
It says 2026 on the website, but like I said, mine was wrong on the website and I had Diane update it, so I can check in with her and maybe it's and Stephanie's still listed on there too, even though I confirmed she was off. So I might just throw Diane a quick email and say like, hey, our website needs to be updated in multiple ways, and we can just confirm all those dates.
Although Ray, you thought it was 2026 too.
I'm sorry, what?
You thought it was 2026 too, right?
Thought?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I was just thinking that if we need to plan for a transition for treasurer, like that's a role that needs a little bit of like,
Hand holding.
Right.
Yeah, I spent a good chunk of time with Katie. So yeah, I agree with you, Sarah. Yeah. So.
I'm not volunteering, just to be clear.
Not it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll add that to the agenda item for next time to
Maybe
Can we
that's who
delegate
we
that
need to
responsibility?
hire. We'll say, we're looking for a new treasurer because ours has to retire. And if you're good with money and you'd like to do this for us, because if you saw my eyes glaze over, you recognize I am not going to do this for you. And so let's get somebody who can do it and do it well. Unless Karen, I hear that you're looking for a new something.
Or Julia.
Yes. I followed the spreadsheet, but
I try to stay away from that. You know, I tutor math and that's enough for me.
All right. Well, we'll hopefully find Ray's replacement at a later time, probably after something we can talk about after maybe Little Town and Bloom.
Or maybe he has an
shadowing.
extension and
Yeah.
You're meant to
I
stay.
thought I had one more extension. I don't know. Let's ask Diane.
Yeah.
When you emailed all of us about this like a year ago, it's like, oh, this people have this much time. Like, 'cause somebody
Oh,
did
Yeah.
reach
yeah.
out
I
to
might even
Diane.
have that.
Oh my gosh,
And
you're
got that
right.
back.
She did send us that.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm just remembering that now.
Yeah, that was
Because when
good.
you said it, I was like, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, wait, because we already did that once.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you're right.
Terms of office, I have it.
Oh, you got it? Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I have in the committee at this point in time, and this was May 15th, 2024. Kim, first term 20 to 21, second term 21 to 24. Then if she chooses to stay on, it would be a 2-year term, 24 to 26, and then she would have to step down for at least a year and then could come back for another 6 years. Julie's no longer. Sarah, first term 23 to 26. Then if you choose to reapply 26 to 29, then you'd have to step down for at least a year. Me 23 to 26, second term if I choose to reapply 26 to 29. So Sarah, you and I have the same timing. Ray, first term 22 to 25, second term if you choose to reapply 25 to 28. And
Yeah.
then you'd have to step down for at
We're
least a year and
good.
could come back for another 6 years. Yay!
hey Ray.
No pressure.
Then I have Jen 23 to 26, second term 26 to 29, and then Kathy, who is not here tonight, but 24 to 26, and then 26 to 29. And then wait, where's Kiki? Oh, there she is. Okay. 22 to 24 for Kiki, second term 24 to 27.
Yeah, I'm in my second term now.
Okay.
Oh, this is good. This is great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy paste this and throw it into the share drive so that way it's not just sitting in our email.
Want me to re-forward her email to you, Kiki?
No, I got it. I found it too.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great.
And Kiki, did you see you can do one more year after that if you want to? Just saying.
Yay!
It's only 2025. I have 2 more years.
You're good.
I'm good. Yeah, but you know what's funny is our website doesn't match this. So I might actually like resend this back to her and say, hey, can you
These are
yeah.
correct.
can
Yeah.
you just make it match? That way we all can see it. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
All
for
right.
remembering that, Ray. That was perfect.
I forgot till just then.
All right.
All right, I think we are good. We all have our marching orders for the next meetings. Anybody have any other topics they want to bring up before we close out the meeting?
Sorry, just the one last thing on the agenda is the public comments. What's the public comments?
Oh, that's if anybody, I think, joined the meeting and wants to talk to us, but I don't see any attendees other than LCC members.
Can I make a public comment that there's a
Yes, you can.
women's, the rally for women and the People's March is on Saturday on the town common at 11.
Cool.
I did not.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'll be
just-
here in cold Florida.
Oh, it's gonna be like
What
in
is
the
that? Can you
40s
say
on-
that again, Jen?
What
Sure,
time?
there's a like a rally going on Saturday in the town common.
Okay.
What's it supporting?
It's the Women's March, you know, the big one.
Oh yeah, from
So
a few
it's
years
our
ago.
it's our version of it,
That's
the
awesome.
small town. And also, folks, I'm on sabbatical starting in the spring, so I'll be away for a couple of months.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It is.
Are you staying local? Are you traveling? What are you gonna do?
I don't know yet. I'm still working on figuring it out. I've applied
Go
for
hide under the
fellowships.
rock.
I've applied for some fellowships, so we'll wait and see what comes.
That's good.
Nice.
Good for you.
I just saw that on Facebook too. I'll reshare it on the on our page too. I think it was posted on your page, Jen.
Yeah, and
I j-
the UU Church page too.
Yeah, I saw it. I was going to repost it on the Glick page too because I was like, oh, we got to share that.
Yeah.
But I just literally saw it like 2 hours ago.
So we'll just have to be really mindful of quorum when Jen is on her sabbatical. And hopefully we'll get another member before she goes out too, and that'll make it a little easier. All right, I am officially closing this meeting, 8:20 p.m.